Hello everybody, MegaZard X here, and for today marks the first edition of what I'm going to be calling my MegaZard's Gamers Briefs. And in these briefings I'm going to be going through and discussing about all things video game related in terms of the news that happened throughout the past week. So these sessions should normally drop out on Fridays, and they're always going to talk about all of the current news topics from the past week that I find interesting enough that I want to go ahead and report about them in these sessions though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive up into my first topic. So on Thursday, January the 9th, we had a Pokemon Direct that was revealed, and it basically released two major bits of information. The first thing they revealed was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX, which is basically a remake version of the original Mystery Dungeon games, being, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red that was released on the Game Boy Advance, as well as, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue, which was released on the DS. But, for the most part, it seems like most of the assets are basically taken from, the red version of the games, though. But in these versions, we're going to basically get, just like a reimagining. The art style looks really cool and amazing, though. I'm genuinely shocked that, the matter of fact, that's the first thing that started off the Pokemon Direct with was the matter of fact that, hey, we're getting a brand new Mystery Dungeon after so many years after Super Mystery Dungeon, which was the latest entry in terms of the series, though. So overall, I know Mystery Dungeon fans were super excited to hear that news off, and it was a really good way to kick off that Direct. But then leading into the second thing we got was none other than some DLC for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Now, for the longest time, people been criticizing the Pokemon Company and Game Freak with saying, hey, you know what? Hey, y'all was releasing these third versions of the games out. You know what? They don't seem to have a lot more polish in them. The content might be lacking, or you're holding off stuff from, what would be like the third iterations of the games from the original ones, though. But Game Freak is heading in a brand new direction, and they revealed that, hey, there's going to be two parts of this expansion pass. The Isle of Armor that's going to be releasing in June of this year of 2020, as well as the Crown Tundra that'll be releasing later down the road in the fall. So overall, we got to see the introduction of 200 plus more Pokemon that are going to be added in here. And the thing to understand about these things is, hey, the Pokemon that are going to be added into the games, even if you don't buy the DLC, you'll get the patch into your current Sword and Shield, to where people can be able to trade those Pokemon over, and you're still going to be able to use those Pokemon if someone happens to trade them to you. So don't be disappointed if you don't buy the DLC. It's still possible to help complete that Pokedex, though. So it's a nice little nod for, the Game Freak, noticing that, hey, it was unfortunate that they weren't able to actually add all the new Pokemon into the games, though, but they're slowly able to patch it out. So I do appreciate that great nod, though. We're getting brand new legendaries, brand new stories, two new, completely new, brand new wild area-like areas. One for the Isle of Armor and then one for the Crown of Tundra. And with the Crown of Tundra, we're also getting the addition of all the previous past legendaries, as well as, with both of these different parts of the expansion, they're introducing new legendaries at that, though. So overall, I was genuinely impressed with the Pokemon Direct, though. A lot of good stuff to pull forward through. I already bought my DLC expansion for Pokemon Sword and for my Pokemon Sword version, and overall I'm just genuinely really excited to look forward to see what else that can Game Freak actually add to these games that make the game more justifiable and more enjoyable. Because I will say, these are some of the, in terms of fun, these have been some of the best games I had since Pokemon Black and White, despite all the controversy. Now, moving on to Friday, January the 10th, we did get a little bit of a small little rumor that a Xenoblade Chronicles could be actually releasing earlier this year, almost as early as soon as May, thanks to a Danish retailer. Now, if you go back through and actually look at this Danish retailer and see, are they credible for, releasing stuff early? And there were a couple of different games that they actually did that, though. But, in the corner above, you can kind of check out that video that Game Explained. He kind of breaks down in full detail over the facts of this Danish retailer, though. But if this rumor actually holds true, then we can actually see Xenoblade Chronicles, the definitive edition, actually coming out earlier this year. And if there happens to be a Nintendo Direct between, late January and early February, then I would expect to see potentially of them actually presenting and saying, you know what? hey, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, here's the release date. It's scheduled for May of such and such that ends on a Friday. And overall, keep that on your calendar and in the back of your mind that yes, a Xenoblade Chronicle Definitive Edition could be announced for a release date earlier than what we actually expect. Moving on to Saturday, January 11th, it was reported by Microsoft that the Xbox Series X will have no console exclusives, and the new releases will be playable on Xbox One and Xbox One S for at least the first year or two. Now, to some people, that's going to sound super exciting in terms of, people that might previously already have an Xbox One or an Xbox One S, and you can get those things for relatively cheap now, like roughly about maybe like 150-ish bucks or something like that, or maybe a little bit cheaper than that though. But to some people, that would be super exciting, because I know my cousin has an Xbox One X, and I know that would make him pretty happy in terms of the fact that, hey, you can still own that console and still be playing what would be basically the new Halo game that's going to be coming out with the same release as the Xbox Series X whenever that drops out though. However, that is a little bit of a worry, because in the back of my mind, when I sit down and look at this, what is the real drive and motivator for people to actually buy an Xbox Series X on release day or a little bit after that, if you could, so to say, play still all the new releases that will be coming out on the Xbox Series X still on your Xbox One or your Xbox One S? That's the only little kind of confusing thing about this thing, and that might hinder the Xbox Series X's sales right out the gate. And we all know what happens when a system flops with, like for example, you go back and look at the Nintendo Wii U though. But I'm wondering, will that actually hinder the sales of the Xbox Series X to a degree, to the point that, hey, you know what, if they don't have enough sales and people are still latching onto those Xbox One S's and the original Xbox One, could that actually hinder third-party support to a degree if they notice that, hey, for the first 2 years, the Xbox Series X is not performing as well as what it could have done if they just fully transitioned though? However, this is a huge satisfying relief for people that already have invested in an Xbox One or an Xbox One S though. So it's kind of like, 6 eggs in one basket, half a dozen in the other one though. Some people are going to look at this as really good news though, but me thinking about this critically down the road, I'm wondering, is it going to be a hindrance or is it going to be helpful? Because Microsoft is basically taking a huge gamble in terms of not being like any kind of console exclusive for the Series X, at least for the first year or two. But we basically have to wait and see how all of this plays out though. Now on Sunday, January the 12th, we did get a new trailer for Persona 5S, or what you can say is Persona 5 Scramble. And in this trailer, oh gosh, this trailer looks super good, super clean, super fly. Man, it just really wants me to, I really want to play a Persona 5 game so bad. The good news is this is not going to be released not only just on the PlayStation 4, but also it will release on the Nintendo Switch as well. However, if you look at that trailer though, at the very end, right before the S would normally pop up in that spot, they actually show a 2 and then they show an S. So this really goes to kind of prove and show that basically in Atlus's mind, as they're working with this game, with their other group, that basically this game is going to be treated as like a sequel to the original Persona 5. Now, we don't know exactly if they're going to, build upon 5 or they're going to build off of 5R. That is yet to be seen though. But overall, I'm really excited about this game, and I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on it at some point later down the road after I have my experience with Persona 5R though. So yeah, make sure to tune into that trailer. Go ahead and check it out if you hadn't already though, because the music alone is such a joy to listen to, and oh gosh, that's some really good ear candy right there. So if you hadn't already checked out the trailer, make sure you go ahead and check that out. Continuing on to Monday, January the 13th, we had a couple of news topics that released out on this day that were super major. The first thing being is Sony is apparently skipping out on E3 again. Now, this isn't, any new news, because, Sony actually skipped out on E3 of 2019 last year, so it ain't nothing new though. But the matter of fact, they're skipping out on it on 2020, and we do know that the PlayStation 5 is supposed to be releasing this holiday, is a little bit shocking. But it seems to me that PlayStation has a different idea in mind in terms of how they're basically presenting their content for their user base, because apparently, the people at Sony basically said, hey, you know what, E3, we don't really kind of see the big value of it anymore. And they're basically going to go around and kind of preview out what will be like their PlayStation 5, as well as, the rest of the PlayStation 4 games are going to be released out this year though. But, with the rise of, Nintendo Directs, State of Plays, Inside Xbox is, the one for Microsoft. you know what, it kind of raises the question, is there really a need to actually have E3 anymore? Because, you know, back in the past, with E3, it was really relevant then because gaming wasn't as big as it is now, so to say. And that was like before, you know, the internet was really big, where you're able to actually stream and host your own things like Nintendo Directs. So the real question comes into play is E3 going to even be super relevant moving on towards the future? Because after this year, I'm wondering, is it quite possible that, you know, E3 could actually, you know, sizzle out as we move forward within the next 3 years or so? Also on this day, we also got a trailer that showcased Nintendo World Japan from Universal Studios in Japan. And oh my goodness, if you went through and looked through that trailer, I am super hyped because I went to Orlando Studios. I think it's either like a couple or a few times by now though, but I am super excited for whenever they do actually not just only release, you know, the Nintendo World in Japan, but it's also going to be coming to Orlando, Florida as well. And the second that that thing comes out, I'm going to try to plan some kind of vacation to kind of go through and, you know, experience all of that, because right now, from what we understand, based upon some of the news updates that have been coming out, basically, you know, you're going to have like your original Nintendo area where you're going to have some like interaction with, you know, the Mushroom Kingdom. You're gonna have like some Mario Kart ride attractions and stuff, and there was even like a little bit of a tease if you look on some of these map stuff where they actually show like a Donkey Kong land as well though. So some super exciting stuff. In that trailer we got to see like a wristband that, you know, that people can actually have in some way, shape, or form. It's going to be able to connect up with your phone, where you get to have like some little interaction with that and with some personal achievements as well, just to kind of immerse yourself a little bit more within the Nintendo Land experience though. But overall, I'm super hyped about that. And honestly, the second it comes out to Orlando, sign me up, because I'm definitely trying to get into that park. Moving on to Tuesday, January the 14th, we do have a little bit of some unfortunate news to actually discuss about, because Final Fantasy VII, the remake, was actually delayed to April 10th, and originally this game was supposed to launch on March the 3rd. And here's a quick little statement that the producer had to say about it that is leading the charge on this remake though. We know that so many of you are looking forward to the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake and have been waiting patiently to experience what we have been working on. In order to ensure we deliver a game that is in line with our vision and the quality that our fans who have been waiting for desire, we have decided to move the release date to April 10th of 2020. We are making this tough decision in order to give ourselves a few extra weeks to apply final polish to the game and to deliver you with the best possible experience. I, on behalf of the whole team, want to apologize to everyone, as I know this means waiting for the game just a little bit longer. Thank you for your patience and continued support. So basically with this, we do get confirmed that yes, Final Fantasy VII Remake has been delayed. And essentially, if you look at it, you know, they only pushed it back a month, so to say. So, you know, March already had a crap ton of games in there. Like we have Doom Eternal, we have Animal Crossing, we have Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and the list goes on and on and on. And I can't remember even all the games off the top of my head. The Ori sequel, everything else. Oh gosh, there's just too many games coming out in March. So to a degree, this might actually help Final Fantasy VII to a small degree, but then, you know, there's some other games that are actually planned out to come out in April though. So it is a little bit unfortunate for those that have been really looking forward to play Final Fantasy VII Remake, me included though. However, I ain't got the a system to actually play the game on, so I probably won't be playing it until like late this year once the PlayStation 5 launches though. But overall, you know what? A delayed game is better than a rush game, because you can always fix a delayed game rather than a rush game. So that's, you know, other than that bad little unfortunate news, hey, it's going to be all right. Moving on to the second bit of news that we got on that day, it was another delay by Square Enix, as the Avengers game was delayed to September 4th, and it was planned to originally launch on May the 15th. In a statement by the studios about the delay, they have stated, "We committed to deliver an original story-driven campaign, engaging co-op, and compelling content for years to come." The statement from Crystal Dynamics says, "To that end, we will spend this additional development time focusing on fine-tuning and polishing the game to the high standards our fans expect and deserve." So the matter of fact that this game also got news of it being delayed kind of makes me thinking, you know what, is there a little bit of something kind of going down behind, you know, out of sight, out of mind, that basically is happening with Square Enix, because not only did we get Final Fantasy VII Remake delayed by a month, but we also got the Avengers game that was delayed by a few months as well. And, with this game, it's been a little bit controversial. People are really trying to compare this game to the whole entire Marvel Cinematic Universe as well, which you can't really make that kind of fair assumption or whatever, though. But you know what? As popular as the MCU is, it's understandable why people sort of kind of trying to hold it to like a higher value, though. But we basically have to wait and see, how the game comes out, though. But the matter of fact that they actually taking the time out to try and polish this game up even a bit more, I do respect them on that, because, as I said earlier, a delay game is better than a rush game, though. So make sure, Square Enix, you take the time out, you go through this, you clean it up, you polish it up, and you try to make it the best game ever, because I'm really looking forward to this game. Whenever I actually have the opportunity to get a PlayStation 5 to be able to play this game, though. So I'm really looking forward to that, though. Now, we didn't really actually have anything that revealed anything new on Wednesday, January the 15th, though. But on Thursday, January the 16th, oh shoot, alright, this is where stuff really got real. Because on this day, we had two major things that was kind of revealed. But the first major thing was we had the Smash Bros. Direct, and this was revealed a couple of days back on that Tuesday, that there was going to be a Smash Direct that was going to be presented by Sakurai, that was going to reveal the fifth and final character in terms of the first wave of what was going to be for the Smash Bros. DLC Wave Part 1. And in this one, it was none other than my boy Byleth. Oh shoot, I was jumping up for joy. Oh my gosh, my reactions was real. And if you hadn't already watched my reaction over that Sakurai Direct, you can go ahead and click that card in the corner to check out my full reaction up there. But do note that there's also a shortened version that's just over the trailer also on my channel, so you can also check that out as well, though. But in this thing, we figure out it's Byleth, another typical anime swordsman, but however, it's not just they're not anime, and it's not just a sword, but Byleth over here not wielding just a sword, but we also got the axe, the lance, as well as the bow and arrow. And I'm like, oh shoot, yes. And it was so funny because it seemed like Sakurai had a really good fun time kind of presenting this. He kind of knew that he was going to get a little bit of heat from this, though. But do remember and keep in mind that Nintendo were the original ones that made these picks. And, Sakurai basically had to pick from the points from Nintendo. So, Nintendo, it would have been crazy for them not to actually include, Byleth within Smash, or have some kind of representation with Fire Emblem Three Houses in Smash. Me personally, I was thinking I was going to get Edelgard. I was a little bit disappointed by that, though, but the way how they incorporated the different weapons with Byleth, I'm still really happy nonetheless, though. So overall, that was a really good, cool, fun character, though. I'm just really excited to see what people are able to do within the Smash community, within that competitive scene, of how the different ways how you're going to be able to combo different people, though, because overall, this character looks a whole lot of fun. And this character is scheduled to release on January the 28th, so we do gonna have to wait just a little bit of time, though. But you know what? Hey, the wait is gonna be worth it, though. And we also got revealed of some Mii outfits. We got some representation from some Mega Man games, and the surprising one was Cuphead. The matter of fact, that they're still showing any representation in these Mii outfit updates. It's just crazy to think that in itself, though. And there is going to be a music track associated with that, so if you're a Smash completionist like me, you're going to have to go out and make sure you buy that that DLC for the Cuphead Mii outfit, though. So keep that in mind as well, though. But just a reminder, that releases on January the 28th, though. And then moving on, later that day, we also got revealed the Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC Wave 4 called Cindered Shadows. And oh my goodness, so basically, we get confirmation that yes, this is the thing that they've been working on for the new story elements. However, do note that they did say in this that this is basically side story content, so we don't know if it's exactly going to be just as long and meaty as like if you chose the original Black Eagles, Golden Deer, and the Blue Lions route, though. But I do expect, a decent chunk of time. If they're able to get like 20 hours of brand new content out of this, I'm going to be super happy and super excited. The matter of fact that they were able to pull this off, though. But it seems like we got like 4 major brand new characters that are going to be associated with this underground secret forward path option though. So overall, I am super excited about this, and this DLC does release on February the 12th. Now the bad thing is, you know, I only went through and actually played through the Black Eagles routes and the Golden Deer route, and I still hadn't played the Blue Lions or the additional Black Eagles route. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun trying to jam through and trying to get through that Blue Lions route though. But yeah, look forward to that DLC releasing on February the 12th. So that is all the news I had to present to you at this time of all the relative gaming news that had been happening for the past week or so. We had a lot of crazy things, from that Pokemon Direct to the Smash Direct, from some unfortunate game delays from Final Fantasy VII as well as the Avengers game. But you know, the bold move that Xbox Series X is going to do with the no exclusives, to Sony skipping out on E3, a lot of stuff has happened this past week though. So I hope you really enjoyed this news broadcast update for all the stuff that happened within the past week though. However, I'm going to take this small little bit of time to talk about a couple of games that are releasing today to keep your eyes out on. So the first game I want to talk about is Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE Encore does release today. I know a couple of my friends are picking up this game today, and overall this game is looks extremely fun. It's an original game that actually released on the Wii U that has gotten ported to the Nintendo Switch, and overall, man, if you're a fan of Shin Megami Tensei, or if you're a fan of Fire Emblem, you need to keep your eye out on this one, because this one basically combines the world into two, and it provides like a unique kind of sense of story, action, RPG kind of a game. And overall, this is one that you definitely need to keep your eyes out on your radar. And overall, it is a game that I really want to get my hands out on and play it though, but unfortunately at this time I'm not going to be able to afford to though. But hopefully some point later down the future, down the road, hopefully I'll be able to be graced with the opportunity to be able to play this game though. So keep that in your mind. And then the second game I want to talk about is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That game also comes out today, and you can actually look around. You know, reviews should be up around this time, as well as, you know, from Game Explain. I know Derek actually streamed part of that the intro part of the game though. But you know, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is basically kind of like another reimagining or another kind of retelling of the events that basically happened with Dragon Ball Z. However, this is more RPG-ish than like any other kind of Dragon Ball game I have futurely seen, because I was a big fan of, you know, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and also own like Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. However, this game is really awe-inspiring. It's a game I really want to have my hands on as well though, but unfortunately I don't have a system that can actually run it on, so still gotta wait to have like a PlayStation 5 in order to kind of get this game though too. But overall, I am genuinely impressed on it. Make sure to check out some videos of gameplay and stuff, because this game has a lot of care and a lot of detail that's putting up into this game. A lot more than what I actually expected for a Dragon Ball kind of game though. So yeah, make sure to keep your eye tuned out on that. But those are the two main game releases that I wanted to talk about today that actually released today. But that is all the information I have for y'all today for this MegaZard's Gamers Brief. So in the comment section down below, let me know what all you thought about that happened newsworthy in the gaming world. Down in the comment section below, some things that you really liked, some things that you didn't like, and you also want to leave a question, go ahead and leave that down in the comment section down below, and I'll find a way to try to incorporate that within my next session of the MegaZard's Gamers Brief, yo. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, this is MegaZard X signing out for this week's Gamers Brief.